Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. Woo! Chronic health issues, disease, illness, sickness. Man, that stuff can really interrupt people's dreams and thoughts in their life and their lifestyle, right? Um, but even though what you're going through in your health can interrupt things, and there are times when you're in crisis mode and it seems like your whole life is revolving around that thing. But even though all of that comes and all of that happens, I want to encourage you to find peace in whatever stage, whatever level you are at in life and in your health. To not only just to find peace, have peace of mind, peace in your heart, but to have appreciation and to find joy and enjoy the place and where you're at. Now that sounds really hard, and I really hate it when people um, try to act like what you're going through is not that bad and you should just be happy anyway. Oh, and usually I find that most people are like that because they're not really trying to be bogged down with what you're going through, and they're trying to move on and do something else and just kind of check you off their list. But there is something in that to be able to find peace and joy in whatever your plot in life is, whatever your lot in life is, the hand that's been dealt with to you, to be able to find peace, to be able to find joy and appreciation even in that, right? And there may be a place where you can grow into to find appreciation for that. In the middle of a lot of the crises, I did not find appreciation for the crisis, right? But I had to find joy in the crisis to still be able to have appreciation for life in the suffering, in the crisis. But on the other side of many years of suffering, I've been 2 years now, you guys, where I've gone through a lot, but I haven't gone through that suffering that I had went through year upon year upon year upon year, right? That continual suffering. But now on this side, and even in the tail end of some of that, I had actually appreciation for what I was going through. There's a scripture in the Bible that I always struggled with, right? And it talks about being afflicted and says that it was good that I was afflicted. And I never really found the good part of being afflicted because it seemed like, ugh, that hurt, right? But I can actually see the good that it did for me and for my family in the affliction, the good that it did for my marriage because of that particular affliction. So there's a place that you can grow into that, understanding that it was good that you were afflicted. But we're not talking about that part right now. I really want to focus in on when you're going through, when you're in the mess, not necessarily being grateful for the mess, but be having appreciation for life, still enjoying your life, right? That's so important because number one, that's what's going to help you to get through. Because even though you have suffering physically on the inside, if you don't find that place of peace and that place of joy, it's gonna take you out. You're gonna lose your mind, or you're just gonna give up and lose the battle, and never know that there's a morning coming on the other side of that darkness, right? That there's better days that are ahead of you. Especially when you've been suffering for a long time. And I know about that suffering for a long time, you guys. You think, there is no better day or no brighter day coming because it's been a long time in there. But there is a brighter day and a better day that can come if you do the things that you need to do. And even then, with the grace of God, right? But you got to hang in there and you got to overcome to get to that place. A lot of people think that, life will be better if they had better health, if they had more money, if they had, a husband like that or a wife like that, or if my kids were like that. That may be true, it may not be true. We will never know on that because that's just, some hypothetical woulda, coulda, shoulda, wish I had, right kind of stuff. But what you do have, you got to learn how to work what you got and make what you got work for you. What you do have, a lot of that is by choice. Now, you might not have been able to choose who your parents were going to be, but you sure did choose who you married. And you chose to have babies by this person, right? And you chose to raise your kids a certain way. So a lot of what you're getting is a lot of what you put out and what you cultivated to be your life. So on some things, on some levels, we can't change some things. And there are some levels that we can change. And if there are things that we can change, we need to be able to change it. One thing we can change is our point of view, how we feel, and how we think about things. The kids that you have are the kids that you have. The spouse that you have are the spouse is the spouse that you have. The parents and the sisters and the brothers and all that other stuff, that is what you have. So you have to learn how to make the most of it and get the best out of it, right? So instead of ruining it, dreading it, hating it, regretting it, being upset about it, mad because this family has something going on. You know, her kids do this and her husband do that, and I wish I had that, and that's why I got her success. A lot of times, that's what a lot of people do, and it causes their family to get even further apart, makes their road harder. So instead of doing that, the better thing for you to do is say, I'm glad she has all of that, right? But this is what I got. And learn to cultivate your own garden. Cultivate what you have. If your spouse is not going to wait on you hand and foot, don't give them a hard way about that, right? That just means you got to rise to the occasion and find some things out that you got to do differently. But they might not be waiting on you hand and foot, but there's a lot of things that they do provide for you. There's a lot of things that they do offer you and give to you and do for you. You have to open your eyes to recognize that, and you have to learn how to appreciate that. No one else is going to appreciate what your spouse is giving you unless you put value on it and you appreciate it. So you have to learn how to appreciate it first, okay? So they may not do what someone else is doing, but there are things that you need to recognize that they are doing. You know, your kids may not come and clean your house. They may not come and visit you. They may not come and do all kind of things for you, but they may provide the money to pay your bills or provide the money for the nurse to come in. So don't make them feel bad for what they're not doing, but appreciate and focus in on the things that they are doing. That's how you can find joy in your lot in life. Find the things that you got working for you, right? So enjoy the spouse that you chose. Enjoy those children that you raised, right? And enjoy them family members that you might not have had no choice in, but God gave them to you. There is something in there that is good. Even for the lowliest of them, there is something good that's there. And when you build a mindset to start looking for the good, to start appreciating the good, your suffering won't be as bad, right? And you're more apt to come through eventually. And you're not dealing with so much depression because all that anger and that hatred and that being upset because you're looking at somebody else's life and your family is not measuring up, it's gonna wear you down physically. And we've talked a lot about how that does a lot of bad stuff to your health. You have to enjoy your lot. Did you know poor people got financial problems? You know that, right? But did you know that middle class people have financial problems? Yeah. Did you know that wealthy people, millionaires, they have financial problems? Do you know billionaires? They have financial problems too. Did you know that marriages on every financial level break up because of financial problems? Everybody got financial problems. So wherever you are on the spectrum, economically, right? Enjoy your place. Don't look at other people as if they got it going on because, they got more money. They still got financial hardship too. They still got financial problems too, maybe a little different than yours, but they still got the weight of that and the disruption that comes with that. So if you start learning that everything that you're dealing with, people are dealing with on another level in some kind of a way, it might help you to be able to enjoy whatever level you got, right? You know, some people may have a big, huge house and a big, huge house note, and it may look great because they're going through health issues and they got this big, beautiful home, but they might be struggling with that home, right? And you might have this little small shack, but it's yours. It's paid for. It ain't got no big old house note on it, right? You can do what you want to do on it. And because of that, and that thing is paid off, right? You might be struggling financially, but you're in a better place than somebody who might have more because everything you have, you own, and you don't have a lot of debt going out to different things. So look for the good in your situation. It's going to help you to come out. It's going to help you to enjoy life right in the middle of it. And don't stop living even though you're going through the things that you're going through. I was adamant. We cannot stop living. Yeah, it's health crisis. Yeah, it's life and death. But we cannot stop living because we don't know when this thing is going to end. And if we stop living, waiting for this thing to end, yeesh, kids are going to grow up, things are going to happen, and we still going to be at this level. I come out of this 20 years from now, and we'll still be at this level of like when we were 20. That don't make no sense, right? We still have to keep growing in life, still have to keep pursuing life, even in the middle of the things that we are going through. Now, I know that sounds hard. It is hard, but I lived it, and I've gone through it, and I've experience different levels of different things. So I know what it's like to be bedridden, halfway out of your right mind, still trying to homeschool kids, right? And still trying to keep the spark in your marriage, and still trying to run your home, and still trying to keep your mind growing, even in the middle of not being able to sit up, passing out all the times, um, not always in my right mind, going through a lot of different things in your health, being in the hospital year upon year upon year, outside of the hospital less than you are in the hospital. I know about all of that life or death stuff and still trying to move forward, keep managing, keep my purpose here on this earth and not give up. And I'm trying to tell you guys that because I did that, I feel like that has a lot to do with why I'm still here. I didn't give up on life and I didn't give up on my purpose. I kept going for the things that I know that I'm supposed to do, that I'm called to do, that is important for me and why I'm here. And because I kept doing those things, it kept me putting my one foot in front of the other, kept me striving, helped occupy my mind a lot to get it off of the suffering that I was physically going through. And because I've done all of that, you guys, I've come out of a lot of bad places, right? I still struggle. I still go through a lot, you guys, but I haven't been hospitalized in 2 years. I'm stronger than I've been in a long time. I'm able to get up and move around, which I had not been able to do. And it's a far, far, far cry from where I was 2 years ago and all the years before that. But because we kept pushing forward, because we kept moving forward, you know, my kids are straight A students in college. They would have never been able to do that if I had given up on teaching them because of all the things that we were going through. There's a lot of things that my family has accomplished. My husband is now able to do. Our family has increased and we have progressed because we kept progressing through all the things that we had progressed in. So there was a time when, you know, we didn't know where we were going to sleep. We didn't know where we were going to live. And I was in health crisis because every dollar was going to my health. But now I do have a big, beautiful home. Everything I have, I own, right? I don't have any debt. And we kept moving forward. So I just want to encourage you, as having gone through different stages and are at another side to see the daylight come, right? To tell you to find joy in the middle of what you're going through and keep moving in the middle of what you're going through, because that's going to help you to get through. And when you get through, it's going to be worth it on the other side. Okay, I hope something in there was helpful for you. Until next time, remember, in all things, at all times, do you be you. Bye.